It somehow got even crazier for the Montreal Canadiens. After being down 3-1 in the third, Brendan Gallagher scores for his mom to tie the game late. And despite the unfortunate outcome, Montreal still gets a point with a Patrick Laine power play goal and a very controversial offside call. There's a lot to break down as Montreal is still in a playoff spot, but it got even more intense with this Islanders result. We have to break all of it down coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. There is a lot to get into, Jesse, but as always, we'll just start with the box score. Flash this up, have a look at it. Look, Patrick Laine, 1 goal, 1 assist tonight. There's a lot to get into, Jesse. How you feeling after that one? Because honestly, I feel like Montreal absolutely dominated the Islanders from start to finish. We just got goalied, and we were the unfortunate victims of an offside call and a couple bad bounces. Otherwise, this could have easily been 2 points.
Heartbreaking finish for sure. Hudson's going to want to be a little bit more calculated on and it's a tough play because you want to be aggressive, you want to take your chance, but definitely if you're kind of outnumbered there, definitely I think he's going to know just to dial it back in the future. But we digress. This was a solid game for the Montreal Canadiens. Josh, quite frankly, I'm impressed with this team. This team getting 11 points out of their last 12 games. Being able to get points rather than out of their last 11 out of 12 games. For such a young team, impressive. There's kind of a lot of stats coming up right now that if they were to make the playoffs, which they're still very much in that place, that they'd be one of the youngest teams in such a long time to be able to do so. So, to be honest, for such a young team being able to do what they're doing right now, the level of consistency, where even if they kind of lose a game to Calgary kind of last week, we're saying their benchmark is pretty high. That's why we weren't really worried. We knew that if they kind of keep playing that game, that they're going to find a way to get points. And somehow this young team figures out a way to do it. They're getting goalie. They're dominating this game. They still find a way to climb back from a 2-goal deficit in the third period, showing tons of heart, showing the team, the unit that this team is, rewarding the best fans in the league right now, showing that passion of their own right now. So, I just think we're seeing so many phenomenal signs. For sure, we want to get those 2 points right now, but every single point is important, and this team really battled for it tonight.
Oh, for sure. This team, we were saying, man, we're down 3-1 in the third. Doesn't matter. We're still going to win. It was just this feeling that something comes over this team. And you know what? This is the kind of game, come playoff time, when, not if, Montreal's in the playoffs, you play like that, you're going to win 4 out of 5 games. This is the rare one that you lose. You replay this game 3, 4, 5 times. Montreal's going to win probably 3 or 4 of them at least, right? The Islanders winning the other one here. Look, this game was crazy. Montreal had 41 shots. When was the last time we said that? Have we even cracked 40 this season? Yeah. Maybe once. I don't even know if we did. I'm not even sure. Right. I remember when we didn't hit 30 for 2 months straight. Right? This team is built different right now, and everyone is chipping in. And I wanted to give a specific shout out, Jesse, to that third line. We got Dvorak, we got Gallagher, we got Anderson. Andy Ferrari's a real thing right now. That shift in the first period, or maybe it was the second, drawing that penalty, and of course Brendan Gallagher with that goal late. This depth scoring is coming from this line. As the fourth line's hit a bit of a lull over the last little while, this third line has come together to do some amazing stuff. How impressed are you with these veterans stepping up, maybe knowing they don't have too many of these kind of chances to make that playoff push left in their careers? I mean, it's not like they're old, and Dvorak's also 29, but he knows he's probably not going to be back. Gallagher and Anderson, they know they're not going to stick around at their price point in a few years. They're wondering if their time's maybe coming to an end. They're finding a fire in them. Of course, Gallagher with the other unfortunate circumstances, they're playing his heart out for his mom who passed away. They've been maybe the biggest surprise recently for me, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, definitely. Gallagher and Anderson, those are playoff type players, and hard work is nothing new to them. Getting rewarded again on that penalty for Anderson, which was a big catalyst for us there. Again, what Gallagher though, our boy Brandon Gallagher, tonight, again, he hasn't missed a game, 5 games since his mom passed away, since he found out when the team was in Calgary. The whole team actually went to go see them when they were in Vancouver. Interesting, because he's from the West Coast himself. At least that they could kind of go to the family home. Just showing the unit and the team that this is. Brendan Gallagher represents us everything that we kind of love about him. He's been needed in these games. We've seen he's been doing those amazing passes, which maybe he's not the guy finishing off every time, but tonight he was. But even in other games, he's playing a pivotal role. He's known we've needed him in these games to win, to be in a playoff spot. We're not there without Brendan Gallagher. Like, I was just so happy because this guy just deserves it. When he got that puck, again, you just see that work. Like, he just gets on his horse. Like, again, so much effort, so much heart here, showing a lot of skill with a beautiful shot. Like, Sorokin was so good tonight to be able to finish this off. Like, again, like, he just deserves it. I love that he has a team right now to really kind of rally behind him. But again, he's the assistant captain for this reason. Nick Suzuki kind of was getting injured. You know, somebody to wear the C. Like, Gallagher is right really at that top of the list and really showing why being there for this team when it really matters the most, not just this game, but throughout this stretch.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. Like, again, his most goals in a season since 2019-20. It's been 5 years since Gallagher's had 17 goals in a season. He's been unbelievable against the heart and soul of this team. The never say die attitude. Joshua Waugh getting his first goal of the season as well. Look, there was a bit of controversy in this game. I don't want to spend too much time on this because, look, Nick Suzuki's been amazing. He's still got a point on the Laine goal, 19 points in 12 games since the Four Nations. And again, Jesse, like you said, we have points in 11 of those 12 games. And I think wins in 8 of them, 9 of them now. So, or 8 of them. But still, it's been unreal. 71 points in 68 games. Look, I'm just going to do my little spiel on this. I don't want to spend more than a minute on this, but why can't we have, like, this is my thought, Jesse. Like, look, soccer has VAR where, like, you have the offside playing. And you can just see if someone passes it before the ball. Or you can see if they're behind the other players. Simple. Tennis. You can have like a computer that shows if the ball is in or out. Why can't we have that with pucks and lines? Anyway, look, the review would have knocked me out even more if that Slaf one didn't count. But thanks to Eric Engels clarifying the GM meetings that was clearly not goaltender interference based on what they were talking about. Any thoughts on the review system? Because I got to say, it's pretty late doing this video, and this was a big part of it.
For sure. Skategate here. We kind of want to avoid those situations in the future, Josh, and you're completely bang on the money here. It is just a matter of time before the NHL starts bringing on a little bit more tech onto the puck. And to be honest, these aren't all negative things. It can actually really improve, obviously, not just the officiating, but even the level of play as well. It's making its way, but there's larger inroads. And I think plays like this go to kind of highlight that even further. It really seemed like there wasn't anything conclusive for me where like the blade isn't really touching. But again, such a close play there. First laugh, you know, he was outside of the blue paint there. And he has a right to be. If you're not in the blue paint, well then, as a hockey player, you have the right to be occupying that space. Otherwise, so love that at least we're getting a little bit of love there. But yeah, that's it. A really tough one because you have to feel like if we, you know, obviously we would have loved to have kind of won this one kind of in regulation and kind of obviously a couple of those calls, a couple bounces, you know, special teams was the difference for the Islanders for a large part, but we didn't let that define us really and kind of battling back. Just finding a way to really do it, I think is, you know, again, this team is just believing in himself and that confidence is just kind of growing. And that's going to pay dividends, not just for right now, but the future as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, this is a tight playoff race. This is the big implication that we have right here, right now. And if we look at it, the Islanders kind of came out of nowhere. Like, Jesse, the teams we were talking about, Rangers, Jackets, and Wings. And then Senators. And I don't even think we really mentioned the Islanders. And all of a sudden they win 3 in a row. The Rangers lose. The Jackets are 0-7-1 in their last 8 games. The Red Wings are 2-10 in their last 10. And all of a sudden, the two teams that were right up there have fallen completely out of the picture. Not really. They're only like 4 points back. But they fall out of the picture relatively because these other teams are getting hot in the Metro. The Islanders have jumped in front of the Rangers because of the results around the league. The Avs did us a solid and beat the Senators on a night where we should have had 2 points. Still don't understand how the special teams ended up the way it did. The Avs managed to beat the Senators. The Jackets lost in OT and the Rangers lost in regulation. So Montreal, Jesse, 2 points up, a full game ahead of the New York Islanders. The records are basically the same. Montreal has 1 more win. The Islanders have 1 more loss. Exact same amount of OT losses. Very, very similar records at home, on the road, even in the shootout, even in their last 10, it's almost the same. This is going to be one of the tightest races we've ever seen for the playoffs. But the one thing that I know from this game, Jesse, is that this team can battle back from absolutely anything. These 2-goal deficits in the third, I genuinely feel confident that the boys will find a way.
Yeah, they just keep showing, you know, that they can do that every single time. And we've talked about this on the show, kind of like tracking as they were in the hunt for that playoff spot, like that this would be a 2-part process. Kind of that first part of obviously securing the spot. And now we've entered phase 2, which is now securing that spot. And again, you know, getting a point in your first game of now being within a playoff spot in a minute is a great first step. You want those 2, but every little bit really matters right now. Again, more than anything else, Josh, it's about playing the game the right way. As we've seen, as time has shown us, if you do that, the results will come as really a process, of playing the game the right way. The results come as a part of the result of playing the game the right way. Not to be too redundant there. So I love that the Habs right now are really, again, establishing that strong baseline, which for me is like just so encouraging because we're not having like these, even the games that we are kind of losing, like our game isn't kind of completely going off of a cliff, or we're finding a way to still kind of come back and be relevant in that game right now. So again, for kind of indicators of future success, the fact that the Habs, this young team again, is doing this right now, like, to be honest, is Martin St. Louis deserves a lot of credit. Our young group, again, the whole organization coming together right now, because it's something you don't see in the NHL all the time for this young of a team.
No, that's the thing. The team's insanely young, and look, their top scorers, top line was kind of shut down again tonight. Of course, Suzuki getting a point on the power play, but I thought Slav and Caufield had great games, but they were shut down off the score sheet. You know what? It was, again, that depth scoring, getting it done just to flash it up one final time. Great play from the third line. Gallagher getting that goal. Laine with a goal, and Joshua Waugh getting that goal, which I guess we didn't talk too much about, but it was a nice play. He's starting to get used to it a little more. Played about 10 minutes. Suzuki, by the way, 24 minutes time on ice. 7 minutes of power play time, clearly leading the team. What an insane game, though. My heart was in my throat the whole time. This is the kind of hockey we love to watch, love to talk about. That'll do it for this episode, but stay on the line because we got lots of videos coming. Saturday night versus Colorado. That's going to go down as probably every single game from here on out is the biggest game of the season. So we'll just have to wait, see how they do versus a couple of Montreal alum. If you enjoy, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We'll be here all season and playoff long. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.